Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind that. I hit it way too early. I thought you were just going to say, yeah. I asked Dave if he's ready to record. It's like, yeah, I'm ready to record. He's doing the full dialogue. I am... Oh, boy. Who am I? I am the... I don't know. I'm just very happy, Travis Snell. Very happy that Obi Wan is back, Travis Snell.
Mm-hmm. I'm a member of the Chiss Ascendancy, Taylor Field.
There you go. His is much more cooler than mine. Ooh. So, ladies and gentlemen, go back. Me and Taylor just did a really good breakdown. We filmed this before in our timeline of Dark Rey and the Episode 9 trailer, all that shebang. So, yeah, we did some good theories there, talking about Kylo, talking about Dark Rey, Emperor, if Dark Rey Revan, is she a clone, whatnot. So, getting to that, we're going to be talking about Obi Wan because that, after so many years, I think since we started this podcast, you and I and many fans, since they've bought Disney, have been talking about, Ewan's around, he's the right age. When's it going to happen? And then last week, all those reports, those rumors dropped first, and then I think it was Deadline or Hollywood Reporter. I think this Hollywood Reporter came out and confirmed it, then a bunch of people have confirmed it, and I told you, I said, when these people confirm it, it's going to happen. Every once in a while, yeah, scoops drop. But D23 happened. Kathleen Kennedy brought out Ewan McGregor. They said the scripts are ready. They're shooting next year. And that was 2020. Just such a good setup of just like, can you ask me if I'm playing one? Because he just gets asked every fucking time he promotes a movie. She asks him, and he just, yes. And he just looks so excited. And I'm excited. So this is going to be a cast. We're just talking about kind of what we want and don't want. We're going to do probably a full, we've done a prediction episode for episode 9 of Mandalorian. We'll probably do that in the future. We'll do like a draft where he predicts something and I can't predict it. But I gave my thoughts on the D23 breakdown, me and Dylan did. I'm very excited. I've wanted this for a while. You can go back and listen to my full pitch. I've always said I want to kind of be Logan-esque, where it's a character dealing with a lot. This is a guy that went through Order 66, lost all his friends and colleagues and companions. He had to chop down his best friend, leave him to die. He's going to find out that his best friend is alive. What does that do to him? So lots of trauma, and I want that to be somewhat of an adventure. So I'll hand over to Taylor. Obviously, you're excited, I imagine, but what are you wanting the show just initially?
Well, looking at the timeline, it is before Star Wars Rebels. I think it happens around the time of Star Wars Solo, I think it looks like. I think they were saying, what was the year? I think there were rumors it was like 13 years after Revenge of the Sith or something like that, but maybe it's before A New Hope. I can't fully recall. But anyways, the show, yeah.
It's apparently for some reason it's like it's in the middle of Solo. It starts a little bit because Solo has that time jump, so it's in the Solo era apparently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it might be after technically.
Yeah, then we know Darth Maul. Obviously, they've already dealt with his story in Rebels, and we know Darth Maul is busy at that time and won't be connected to Obi-Wan during this point in time. So, other than that, though, I know around this era, I can't remember what source I was reading this from, but they talk a little bit about it in the sense that he is trying to watch over Luke, and he never lets Luke actually see him, but he intervenes and he helps, and Owen knows that he's there. But he's always jumped in. He's saved them from being attacked by bandits many times. He one time did a protective job to get credits, and he used the credits to buy a bunch of replacement parts for Luke's T16, I think, because it got crashed and he broke it and stuff like that. And Owen was like, you can't be doing that or whatever, which is such a dick move.
Well, Owen and him aren't friendly, it seems like, in New Hope, right? The way he talks about Ben Kenobi, is crazy old Ben. Like, he kind of talks down about him, so he's not, and it makes sense, right? Like, from Uncle Owen, yeah, he's a jerk, but at the same time, he's not. The stuff with New Hope, it's very small, and you get the sense that him and Luke don't have a close relationship. But at the same time, he's just trying to make Luke not get falling into that lifestyle because he knows what happened to his dad. So it's just like he's just scared, and you can't fucking blame the guy. The guy turned out to be Darth Vader. So yeah, he's an asshole, but like he has every reason to be an asshole.
It's true. I mean, and again, I'm seeing lots of fan arts and stuff of like a mid to old Obi Wan walking in the desert with young Luke on his back or whatever, just like adventure. I'm thinking, you're not gonna get any Luke in this series at all. So I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it right now.
I'll disagree with that.
You think you're gonna get a little bit of Luke
from afar? I don't think.
I'll agree from afar. Yeah. I will agree with that.
Young kid playing Luke or something. I don't think he'll be a character. I think they could even have one scene of a young Luke talking to Ben Kenobi just briefly, and it's just kind of like, you've seen the Mission Impossible movies, right? You know that moment in Mission Impossible 4 when Ethan Hunt, he can't be with his wife, but he sees her at the restaurant, something like that. Even with Luke just being like, oh, hi, who are you? Like, oh, I'm Ben Kenobi, because Luke still knows who Ben Kenobi is in New Hope, right? So even something where maybe he had an interaction with Ben when he was like 8 or 10, and nothing big, nothing like he's fighting off sand people, just like oh, hey, like Mr. Kenobi, you dropped this, or oh, Luke, is this yours? Like, did you drop? Like, I think you could have a quick scene, just a heartwarming of like, this is Anakin's kid, and maybe it's just a reminder of I gotta protect.
If
this
they
kid.
do it well, then I'm okay with it, and subtly. I don't want
think
it
it's
to
him
be
walking
obvious.
around the desert with his like.
Yeah, I don't want that.
You know,
no,
going through adventures
They
like
won't
Winnie
do
the
that.
Pooh.
I mean, if anything, I could see. Well, no, I doubt it. I could see them doing like some nod where that, like, I got the death sentence on 12 Systems guy popping in there, and
They better not, because he should be on Road Jeddah right now. So
yeah.
So what do you? So you said what you don't want it to be. What do you want it to be then? You want it to be like that, where he's just kind of in the shadows, helping out Luke on Tatooine, doing stuff.
Well, that it can be, but I want it to be him on his own journey where something has happened, where he's compromised. I don't want any Empire.
Like Logan, right? You wanted that where he gets brought, not a clone, but he gets brought into a situation and he has to help because he's just a good guy at heart.
Well, not where he has to, because with Logan, you know, he's got that rough, rugged exterior, but Obi Wan, he's always looking to help. He's always looking to do the right thing, and he knows he has to stay in exile to protect Luke.
Yeah, that's where you and I disagree.
You think he's going to be rugged and stuff?
I think so right now, yeah, because I think he'll be a little PTSD. And the other thing is, what happens if there's something going on? Same thing as Logan, where he gets mixed up with Laura, and it's like, I have to protect Charles. I shouldn't do this. And Charles like, go do it. Like, someone will come along. No, you've come along. Someone's already come along. What if, obviously, Luke's not going to be like, go help them. But what if there's a struggle for Obi-Wan of, I could help these people, make a difference. Something's going on. There's something that he can help good people, right? But he has to leave Luke for an extended time. I don't know if that's leaving the planet or leaving the area where Luke is in. And that can be the struggle of, he might fear that if I leave Luke for a day, that could be it. And I could come back and just like Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru in the future, just end up fucking scorched. It could be over for him.
It's hard,
right?
Because you do make a good point, but those were the kind of decisions that resonated with Qui-Gon and stuff like that. And in Obi-Wan's case, and even so you learn in the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan, he was able to make those decisions. He was able to know like how to prioritize and categorize what the right things to do, when to do it, and when to get it done. And even in Rebels, if there is obviously a lot of PTSD or a moment where we see that happening, where he's stressed and anxious, I'm sure they'll tackle it in this series, because in Rebels, which is still a ways off from like A New Hope, because we see young Luke in Rebels, and he's still a little kid, but the Obi-Wan at that point in time is completely composed and like at peak Jedi performance,
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, I'm really hoping we get a lot of like Force Ghost kind of talk, No Yoda, obviously, because he's still kicking it. But
is there any way, because it was introduced in The Last Jedi, is there a way that we can get some conversation with Obi and Yoda, whether it's like Force Skype calling or just even voices hearing one another? Like just you hearing Frank Oz's voice as Yoda? Yeah, I think so too. I think so,
but I really do think that 100% we will hear Qui-Gon. I think
I was going to ask you that. Well, yeah, I think because Qui-Gon never learned to make himself a fully functioning ghost, right?
No, he didn't complete his training.
Even though I think there's a book called From a Certain Point of View. I have to look and see if that is, he sees him as a ghost or just talks to him.
In some points in time, like there's certain areas around the galaxy that are strong on the Force, and Qui-Gon can manifest fully in form, but outside he can only have his consciousness that he can commune with.
Yeah, so before I get to Qui-Gon, because that's a can of worms right now. So with Obi-Wan, I want him to get to that composed, but I want this series I want him to be a little broken. I don't think to the extent of Logan where he's drinking but I still want him to be a little down and out. I want to see the moment in this series where he puts 2 to 2 together that Vader is Anakin. And I think that could be the moment where maybe that happens episode 1 or 2, and that's the moment where it just comes all flooding back. And it's just it really puts into perspective of what he's lost and where he's been. Because it's a weird thing, right? Because he is composed in Rebels, and this is why, I'll be honest, I fucking hate that they did anything with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Rebels. And if they came out and said, hey, that was really cool, but we're going to retcon that, I'd be 1,000% for it. I've never been for the comics, and even though we're going to talk about Qui-Gon a bit, Master and Apprentice, that could still have been a story off on its own. Master and Apprentice is in my top 5, maybe top 3 for favorite Star Wars story. Check out, me and Taylor did a review for it. I love that fucking book, and I'm not a book guy. And that's why I'll get into Qui-Gon, but I'm a big fan of Obi Wan, and I like the character enriching they did with that. And I feel like we can do that, but at the same time, it didn't affect anything we might do with Rebels. Like, you have this thing where, yeah, he's kind of peak Jedi, and you got Darth Maul, which sucks because lots of people that don't know that are, oh, we're going to see Darth Maul in this. And if they go, well, you got to stick to canon, no, we can't. So I hope there's a part of me where Kathleen just comes in and throws down her big president cock and just goes, you know what?
Big president, flappy
fuck Rebels. And you know what? Sorry, Dave Filoni, but we're going to do this. Or I'd love to see a retelling of it, but I just don't get how, I don't know, because at the same point you got Rebels where he's like a composed height of his powers Jedi, but then when we get to him in New Hope, he's a kooky, weird type of guy. He's still wise, but he's kind of a little off. He doesn't have his full beings there. He doesn't even remember he used to be called Obi Wan, you know? Like, he does, but it's like, Obi Wan, like, he actually doesn't, because when they say that, he has like, think about it, like, he is crazy old Ben. So I don't love what they did in Rebels. Good for you fans. I heard it's great. I've still never watched it, maybe just out of spite, but I hate that we got that. So I don't know, especially, do you know for a fact in D23, they were talking about the Cassian show. Were they talking about that show was taking place like 10 years before Rogue One?
I think so.
And if that's the case, and if K2SO's in it a lot, they're for sure retconning stuff. Because remember, they did a comment of how him and K2SO met, and it was a few months before or very close to Rogue One. So if he met him years before, there's a chance they might be going, hey, we know it's our stuff, but that's just like a what-if tale. And how are you? Because I know you're Mr. Cannon. How would you feel legitimately if they said that thing in Rebels, not a thing? We're going to do our own thing.
It depends. Because, I mean, a lot of where Maul stands in Solo alone is, you know, explained through, you know, these other forms of canon, like the Clone Wars and such. And then even then, it like a lot of what's established in the Star Wars universe, you know, is credited by, you know, Rebels and a lot of the things we learned there. And it depends. I don't know how they're gonna do this KSO. I'm gun in my head. What? Like, would it bother me?
Well, if they said that, would you rather them keep the Rebels canon, or if they said we're getting rid of it? Like, no, they said we're getting rid of it. Would you be for it or against it?
I mean, as much as I'd want it to be for it or whatever and have it live action with Obi Wan and stuff like that, I would say keep it. I think, you know, it's been done already and they have it set in that time. Keep it there because the Kenobi series is way before. You know, I like the story of Maul, you know, lurking through Sith holocrons and coming off as this good and bad neutral character, which you can't really get a read on, you know.
I guess my point is lots of people said because Maul is there's no chance Maul's Obi-Wan. Well, this is what I want to ask you. In your mind, does Obi-Wan leave Tatooine in the show?
No, I don't think so.
I don't want him to, but I think it's a 50-50, maybe a 60-40 that he does. I think because lots of people do pitch the idea, and I think you're against, is that he finds out it's Anakin and he goes one last time to try and bring him back to the good side. And
I don't think they'll do that.
I don't
think Darth Vader will be in this at all.
I think there's a chance. I really do. I don't want it either. I want, even if it has nothing to do with Maul or Vader, I want it to be just Obi-Wan figuring out his life on Tatooine and doing stuff. I almost think that, because I think they've said it's like 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. I almost think that's too far. I guess he is older now than that, but still, I almost wish they did 5, but we'll see whatever the show they want to do fits that. But so if they do the whole Vader thing, because people use this line of, in Return of Jedi, Darth Vader, Luke says, I'm going to turn you to the good side. And Darth Vader goes, Obi-Wan thought at once as you did. But if you think about Revenge of the Sith, technically, Obi-Wan never thought that. He never went to Mustafar to try to turn him. He just went there to kill him, right, and take him down. So that's why some people have speculated that, just like in other stuff, and other like the Rogue One movie, they're taking one piece of dialogue and they're going to make a whole movie about it. And this is going to be about Obi-Wan going to try, and he fails, and he goes, no, he's gone. And so that's why Obi-Wan tells Luke, he says, you can't turn him. You just have to kill him. And that's why there is that wiggle room. And you know they love to do that with these spin-offs, right?
You could. I mean, you're now in this sense, you're defending something which you disapprove of in previous times where they've taken something and they've changed it to
I'm
work
not defending
it for their
I'm
benefit.
playing devil's advocate why people are saying that. I'm on your camp. I don't... Are you opposed to him leaving Tatooine at all?
I'm opposed to him leaving Tatooine, and I don't want Darth Vader in this at all. And I mean, I feel like yes, there is that bit of dialogue that they could, bend to their will, yeah, and what they want. But then again, when you learn in A New Hope, the whole thing is just set up that okay, they haven't seen each other since Revenge of the Sith.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I wouldn't want that to happen because I think it would discredit a lot of that build up in A New Hope. And like when you know that they haven't seen each other since Obi Wan walks away and leaves Anakin burning there, it like adds so much more weight to that scene when he's dealing with Darth, because you are right, he is kooky and crazy and stuff, but when he's in that situation, he is completely composed, 100% Jedi.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think there's a chance, but I want it to be about his ventures on Tatooine. I want him to talk about Vader. I said I still want him to get that moment where he figures out it's Anakin and just like, and he just blocks that. But I think there's a chance. I'm with you. I don't want that. I want that moment, them meeting the first time back together. That'd be the moment. And yeah, but I think it's a chance. I think same thing with Maul. I think there's a chance that maybe they fight and then he goes missing at some point. And I had another point I was going to bring up about him leaving, but we've seen them do that before, right? Or even like look at Rebels, if that is canon. There's no thing given whatsoever of Obi-Wan being in any Jedi action of fighting a Sith warrior on the planet of Tatooine, right? But it's something they squeezed in there of like, oh, guess what? While little Luke was some miles away, Obi-Wan had this lightsaber duel with Darth Maul by a campfire, right? So they could add him leaving to try and go get Vader. They easily could. And that's my worries. If they want this to be like a big Star Wars show, they might do that. And I'm still not even a fan of him leaving Tatooine, to be honest. I think that has a likely chance as well. I think that's more likely than the Vader thing, but I think there's a chance we say, oh, Vader's going to be in it, and they bring back Hayden again.
I don't think they'll... I don't know. I still stand by it. I don't think they'll do that. I think they gave Vader his spotlight in Rogue One, and I think they're going to be giving him his spotlight again in Episode 9. I think, the Obi-Wan series will be exclusive just to Obi-Wan, because the moment you bring in another head honcho like that, it pulls the attention away.
Not if they don't announce it, though. I said they announce it, but there's a chance that if they're doing these episodes weekly, it's not a binge where, it gets out and everyone, Vader's in the series. What if that's saved for, like, he's trying to get to Vader, but we don't know if it's going to happen? Or maybe that's the thing. He's trying to get to Darth Vader, and it does never happen. He gets that close, and he gets stopped or whatnot. Or maybe is there a chance he's on a mission helping someone else, and that intersects with Vader, and Vader hears about Obi-Wan, and he goes, I got to go take him out. And Obi-Wan's not even after Vader. Vader's after Obi-Wan.
It's possible, but it's just too compromising. I mean, he knows that if the word Jedi gets mentioned anywhere, he knows that it's a done deal. He knows the Empire will come, and that's it. He doesn't whip out his lightsaber until, he knows that they're leaving Tatooine. And this is a time here where in A New Hope, I can do this. I can pull that Jedi card out because we're getting out of here. Things are in motion now. Luke's going to begin his journey. But I don't think he would compromise that whatsoever in his time in exile dealing with Luke.
Yeah, I agree. That's the way I want the show. I think he should never leave Tatooine, and he should be protecting that boy. If he leaves, I guess the Vader thing is a good reason to leave. But if it's not Vader, they need to make a pretty damn compelling reason why he would leave Tatooine. But the Vader reason is compelling, right? If they want to take that route and say, hey, he's going to go and try to turn Vader one last time, it makes sense. I'm not a huge fan of it, but at the end of the day, it's about execution, right?
The thing is, though, the odds of him... I would like to know how he figured out that Anakin became Darth Vader.
Yeah, I hope we see that.
Because, that's something that only a select few know, aside from the Emperor and... Anakin himself.
Ahsoka eventually.
And Ahsoka eventually, yeah. Who learns in Rebels, I guess, actually. But, it's something that...
I want that in the show. I'd like that. I don't know if I need Vader, but I'd like him to figure that out. But maybe him figuring it out is like... Because some people have posed, what if he has a similar fight that he had with Ahsoka, with Obi-Wan? It's kind of that moment. They kind of recreate that for live action, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Qui-Gon, let's talk about him. So give me your percentage on Maul and Vader being in the show separately.
Maul, I'm thinking 0%.
Whoa, Vader,
I'm thinking maybe 5%.
Wow. Maul, I'm gonna go 25, and Vader, I'm gonna go 50. I think it's a 50-50 shot he's in this, and then you're going to be really mad. But then you'll love it
well,
after.
I really don't think Maul will be in it because,
I agree.
the events are placing him somewhere else.
Unless they say that's not our canon.
They could, but I mean, Disney spearheaded Rebels from the beginning. I mean, when they canceled Clone Wars, Disney was like, we're going to get Rebels out there. This is a new story we want to tell and put it out there. It's canon and everything. And they've done a great job of focusing on these characters. And even then, like, it covers how Maul is trying to use Sith holocrons and Ezra to, find something, and ends up revealing the location of Obi Wan, which is a great episode because Maul, like, breaks thinking, like, I can't believe he survived.
Yeah. And that's where we're going to find out how much they are really relying on that canon, comics, books, and whatnot. Because like we talked about in a previous episode, Rey and Poe met in Force Awakens, the novelization, but they didn't meet until Last Jedi, right? And then they just go, the movies are what matter. And there's a chance they could do that. And they just go, the TV shows are what matter because it's live action, right? And animation.
It would be a big FU to Dave Filoni because he has such care for the Star Wars story. Yeah. And I would be very upset that they, Kathleen Kennedy waves her flappy Sith cock around and just does that to him.
But what if they're like, hey, but you get to direct your own live action series? Who knows?
Oh, that trade-off fucking trade-off.
There's still part of me that wonders, I thought about this today, I wonder if Jon Favreau directed The Lion King just so they'd give him The Mandalorian. Because that's the thing in Hollywood, like you do one for me, the studio, and then we'll do one for you, give you like an indie movie or something you want to do. I think there's a chance that happens. So Qui-Gon, so here's the thing. Liam Neeson's had there's some controversy the past year. That's my only holdup of him being in it. I think he will be because I think by the time the series comes up, that will have passed. And it's not a black and white issue. Oh, shit.
Wow.
Technically it is. And I think Liam Neeson did say some really bad stuff, some stuff that was racist, but at the same time, he was saying it in a way that was my old self, and he was trying to amend for those sins. So hopefully he's changed, and he said that. The thing was, he was in that episode 9 teaser, Qui-Gon made an appearance. I think with enough time, with enough him apologizing, and the fact that it might just be even his voice, if they came to me and said it's going to be Qui-Gon's voice, I think 100%. If he physically appears, I don't know. And I think they might just do his voice because Liam Neeson's a lot older now, and it's different. It's the same age for, well, not really, because he wasn't in Revenge of the Sith, but for Ewan, it makes sense in the timeline. Well, that's the problem with Force Ghosts. Liam's supposed to look the way he was when,
Liam, I don't think we'll see a Force Ghost because he never completed the training.
Exactly. Well, you said, but if he goes to some Force-y-like place, right?
Oh, yeah, but it's not on Tatooine.
Yeah, but what if he goes adventuring around,
It's possible, but I think it'll be easier for them to just have Obi-Wan meditate, and then you hear Qui-Gon Jinn's voice, which would be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I think they'll happen, and I'll want that to happen because I love that dynamic. That's the reason I put in our rankings, we're going to do them a separate episode too of Phantom Menace over Attack of the Clones, because Attack of the Clones is, I think, not a great movie. Well, I don't know where I'm going with this. Either way, I love Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and I love Master and Apprentice. That relationship got fleshed out even more, so go read that book of It's Just Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan before the episode 1, and it is fantastic. So I love that dynamic, maybe my favorite Master and Apprentice dynamic. And yeah, so I love Qui-Gon. I think he's in this one way or another.
Yeah, I agree. I think at this point in time, I mean, Disney, they love to take, people that have done wrong, give them a apology, let them, recoup their sins or whatever, and get them back on the paycheck. So I think that they'll definitely bring them back. It's out of everyone that they tried to bring back, they brought back Yoda, they brought back the whole original 3 from the original trilogy, they brought back Ian, they brought back Ray Park, they brought back James Earl Jones, they brought back Obi-Wan, probably gonna bring back Hayden. Padme, I'm sorry, she's done. But
I wouldn't write that off yet.
No, you think she'll come back?
She's back in the Disney family with Thor and Love and Thunder, right?
A Naboo spin-off series?
In like a Kylo Vision, that's sort of what we talked about in that episode 9 thing. Not as like a series, but as a...
He's thinking about his grandmother?
Something like that. I don't know. But like, I don't think... There's always a chance, I think, or in some other series. If we ever get that Vader series, like some Padme dream sequence. And maybe that's it. You say they're done with Vader, but what happens if this is the way to like...
Well, they're not done with Vader, but I think they're just going to use him in select things.
But that's what I mean. What if they're not? I talked about this with Dylan. I feel like now they've seen the Marvel approach, and they saw, look what happened when Marvel announces Moon Knight and Blade, and like after Endgame, and they announce Miss Marvel. People go nuts, and She-Hulk, they go, oh, why are they going nuts? Because it's like these are series fans are asking for. Where for a while, I'm excited for Mandalorian, but people were asking for like a Boba Fett. This is pretty much Boba Fett, but still, it's a new character. I think people can be excited or want it, but I don't think anyone was asking for a Cassian show. I think no one was asking for a solo movie. Rogue One, I think once we heard the idea, we were like, all right, but we were never like, that was never the one. Know what movie they should make? Obi Wan we've been wanting for years. They gave it to us. I think they might be in the business of doing that. And Vader's had multiple comic series. And what if this is a way to backdoor pilot a Vader series?
I'm okay with them doing, an actual Vader series, but in that sense,
Dr. Aphra coming in.
They don't have to do that, by throwing him into like Obi Wan. They've thrown.
But they could.
They could. I mean,
and that could be like a sequel series to it, right?
If he's in there, I'm not gonna hate it. You're
gonna eat it up.
I will.
You're gonna eat up seeing Obi Wan Darth Vader fight in HD and like back again at it.
I don't want it, but I know I'll eat it up. But it's unfortunate.
Taylor will love it. What happens?
Star Wars.
The same way Solo. He didn't want a Solo movie, and now it's like in his top 5 for Star Wars.
It might be in my top 5. I can't remember.
Yeah, so it's Taylor will be turned quick. Uncle Owen, you think we're gonna have Joel Edgerton to come back?
Well, that depends how much Luke we get, because I could see more of him than we do of Luke.
Yeah,
and I could see
Stay
it
away
where
from my kid.
Yeah, well, I could see Obi-Wan's picking up some power converters at Tashi Station, bumps into fucking Clive or Owen Lars, and fucking gives him shit.
I think if it wasn't Joel Edgerton, I'd say no, because he's a popular actor. And he's joked about for years. He's like, I'm waiting for the call to come back. I think it might even just be one episode, but if you give one episode, if you show the ideology differences of Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen, I think he will come back. I think that one's the most certain. I think it better be Joel Edgerton. If he doesn't get it back, like I sounds like he'd even be down if it was just a cameo or 1 or 2 scenes. He'd do it, and he's a cool guy,
Yeah.
so I think it should happen. Let's see. I think we talked about everything that I want to. I guess the only thing I was going to give you a percentage on, I guess, was so him leaving Tatooine. What's your percentage?
I would say it's probably like 30% that he could
Okay.
leave, 70% that he stays.
I'll beat you a little bit. I'll say 40 to 60.
40.
I really don't want it. I want this to be the show where they don't go full on like Star Wars adventure. I want this to be, I know I throw the word Logan out there, or almost look like a Joker. I want this series to be different than other Star Wars. I don't want space. I don't need a space battle. I don't even need him to be using that lightsaber that much. I want this to be character driven, maybe 6 episodes about Obi-Wan and what's going on with him. If they do space, they do Vader, I'm not going to be a fan of it, but I will. I'll try to go in with a open like mind until it happens. I really will, but I'll be what's the word? I'll be reluctant the entire time if they say, "Oh yeah, this adventure's about the time he left Tatooine," and I'll go,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like this is the time he tried to save Vader. I'll go, I don't know. But hey, that's happened before where I've gone, oh, I don't know. Like, and it's turned around. Like I was the guy that for the whole time I was like, oh, Guardians 2 is definitely going to be worse than the first one. And maybe some people agree with that, but for me, I was like, it's going to be a big bomb, not money. I just it's going to dip. And I was like, I like it more than the first one. So my top 5. So I've been wrong about things before, and I want to be wrong about that. So anything else to shout for Obi-Wan?
Well, I was trying to remember what else we talked about Obi-Wan in our previous Cantina. I was trying to remember if we had any big topics that we brought up, like other things we wanted.
I think we've talked about like Vader possibly. I think we've talked about like ideas. I think like I said, I thought we kind of talked about it being closer Revenge of the Sith. It being 10 years is, I guess I could ask you, is there any characters that we didn't list that you think would appear like in canon?
I think we'll see some bounty hunters, I think.
Boba Fett? Is that where they work in Boba Fett?
I'd be down to see some Boba Fett, some Jabba the Hutt kind of stuff,
Is there a world where, because Darth Vader, did he also know Obi-Wan was alive? We don't know, right? So is there a world where we get a reverse where him and Vader don't face off, but Vader pays off a bounty hunter to like go down and get Obi-Wan?
It's possible, but I mean, in this case, Obi-Wan, he hit pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And we know Darth Vader does use bounty hunters.
Yeah.
But
it's his go-to.
Yeah, it's his go-to. I don't know. I mean, that'd be cool to see like a Boba Fett Obi-Wan dynamic, but obviously we know it doesn't do anything because Boba Fett's he went off to see Luke, and how old would he be? Yeah, he'd still be a young bounty hunter at this time, I guess.
Yeah.
Boba. But there's something else I was gonna say. Now you said that was it he's actually writing some of the scripts?
No, there's a rumor that he might be, but I don't think so. I think there's a rumor going around he's going to direct some episodes.
Oh,
that's not
okay.
confirmed, but yeah, just direct. No, and not just direct. That's a big thing, but that's a lot easier than writing and directing. I think because he's acting, he's probably not, but that's just a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed, but that came out the same week as that, and that would make sense. He's directed a movie. I think who knows, maybe he's directed episodes of Fargo he's on or other TV shows. So he's dipped his toes in directing, and that would make sense. Might be fun for him to do. So, yeah.
Well, I'd like to see... I know I didn't get to talk about The Mandalorian because I wasn't on that cast. I might do a quick, small talk because we're on the topic of these Star Wars series. But I would love to see some of the people working on The Mandalorian go over to the Obi Wan series and work on that because, just that trailer, the one for The Mandalorian... It was just so fantastic. The score was on point. Everything about it, the aesthetic felt so good. It had that Rogue One feel to it. And I want this Obi-Wan series to have, again, that dark Rogue One aesthetic because I think it feels very Star Wars-like. And I think I said, when I'm watching the Mandalorian trailer, it felt like it had a little bit of a Neil Blomkamp kind of vibe. Like when you see some of the scenery and the equipment, and it just felt real looking and lifelike. And I want that grittiness to embody into this Obi-Wan series.
I don't think it'll get too many people working on that because the rumor is October they're starting to shoot season 2
of Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's the rumor going around. So I think that Disney's obviously happy with it. Fan reaction's good. I hope it's. Dylan and I talked about some of this guys. Dylan says that he loved the Rogue One trailers. Not disappointed. I'm the same way where I got that saying I love those trailers, but then I was disappointed. I don't think I'm going to be disappointed in this. It looks like it's hidden all the marks, but they're working on season 2, so maybe there's some people, but I don't think too many.
Yeah Okay. Yeah, I don't know, I could see an Ahsoka thing popping up here with Obi-Wan.
Some people have said that. I don't know where she works in exactly. I don't know unless other than her dragging him into some sort of adventure. It
would be an interesting way for them to kind of give her more light because she hasn't made an appearance since after Rebels ended, and we know that she's still alive. I don't know. Obviously Disney loves her, so it's just a matter of time. We get to see her in Clone Wars, and we get to see her fight Maul in Clone Wars, so there will be some more dynamic there. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I think I would go a low 5% on seeing her.
A 5%.
Yeah, I think we see her somewhere else, but not in Obi-Wan. There's a chance they know each other, but I think even for the prequel people, if they didn't watch Clone Wars, that's too much because we don't know that he knows her, right? And they have a big backstory, so I think it'd be more likely Obi-Wan appearing in a Ahsoka show than vice versa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the percentage of seeing Aunt Beru?
I'm pretty high. I think
pretty
if we see
high,
Uncle
really?
Owen. Yeah, if we see Uncle Owen, see Aunt Beru.
I feel would it be the same actress? I don't even know her name that played
Probably
her.
not. Maybe for fun, but they might, if she has some acting scenes, they might get somebody that's a bit more, I don't know, might be a talented actress, but someone with a bit more clout, a name to match Joel Edgerton. Maybe not as big as his, but someone on that level.
Okay, because I'm surprised. I thought probably just for sure Owen Lars. I didn't think we'd see any Beru.
No, I think there's a chance.
And how about Tusken Raiders?
Oh yeah, have to.
Yeah,
he's gonna fight them at some point.
Now, do you think
he's
we'll
gonna learn
see
that scream, the whole deal?
Oh, the whole scream. Do you think we'll see Jabba the Hutt? Because I know the interview Cassian wanted to see Jabba.
Of course, he better, but I doubt they're gonna give us that fan service. But I really think they should. I think there's a high chance if the show that I want would happen, that's what I would have because he could get involved in that crime world a little bit or have some dealings with. So in my wants, I want to happen. I think we'll have to come back to this when we do predictions. I have to wait till they at least give us the plot because if it's him on a space adventure, then no. Whether it's getting Vader just going out there, no. But if it's him on Tatooine the whole time, I think you have to deal with the Hutts at some point because he's gonna get involved with some sort of crime or stopping it. So
yeah, well, I don't think I have anything else.
Well, there you go. So yeah, we'll do a full predictions episode in the future. Hopefully, we'll learn more. It's shooting next year, so I guess that means we'll probably get it 2021, which is a long ways away. But you know what? We're getting it, and that's all that matters. So
we get Cassian beforehand, right? If they start filming Cassian,
I think they're filming that next year. So who knows? I think it's gonna be a race to see.
Christ.
Obi-Wan might be further along because I think what the word is that we were going to get that Obi-Wan movie and those scripts. I think they took some of those ideas and just stretched them out into a TV show. So I think there's a chance we might get Obi-Wan first, to be honest. So
Okay, so we're getting Mandalorian, then we're getting episode 9, then we're getting Clone Wars,
Yeah.
and then probably Obi-Wan, then Cassian. You don't think we're going to get anything between Clone Wars and the other 2 series?
Like a movie?
Well,
Or
maybe
any
not a
other
movie.
shows?
I mean, just, anything. Like, because I feel like that's a
no.
long gap, unless they're
No.
going to focus on other things.
I think the reason you got Mandalorian first, and then you got Clone Wars, and then if you look at 2020 and then 2021, there's a lot of Marvel shows. I think you'll get a lot of Marvel shows while they're finishing up Obi and Cassian, and then 2021 and honestly 2022, you'll get those. I think we'll definitely get some announcements, and also who knows? I'm maybe wrong. I think we might get Mandalorian season 2 next year. Because if the rumors are true that they're starting to film that in October, I think 100%. Because that one, I think Obi will be limited, Cassian's limited. Sounds like Mandalorian, they want to go a few years. So there you go. I think in between Cassian, Obi, and Clone Wars, we'll get another Mandalorian because they're further along on that show.
Okay, well, that's good. And then the new Star Wars trilogy is, 2022, I think?
Yeah.
Okay.
If that happens.
I think it will, because they went ahead and announced it, right?
They did, but I don't know. We still don't know what if it's Rian Johnson's or them, because you heard that they said that now that the Benioff Weiss might just write the first one now.
And then what, Rian Johnson does the other ones?
Well, no, nothing about Rian Johnson. But before it sounded like they were going to write a whole trilogy, but now it sounds like they're just writing the first one.
Is that because Netflix took them?
Who knows?
Who knows? Fuck.
Or Disney's worried about them.
They're great at doing, starting points. I think it's just the ending that's the troubling area.
We'll see. And then we got Jedi Fallen Order November 2. We're going to be here talking about all, reviewing it all. So that's why you want to subscribe to the channel, whether that's the video version or the audios. Whatever audio you want, go down the description below. It's all there. And we'll be on any of your preferred podcast feeds. We got lots of good content coming out next little while. It Chapter 2 review, a classic GV episode. Hopefully it'll be up there of It Chapter 1. We're kind of retooling some audio. It's not going to be these mics. There'll be a whole intro for it. And then we got tons of stuff. Joker's coming up. The Breaking Bad movie's coming up. Zombieland 2, they're doing a retro. We're going to try and do a DC retro with Watchmen. So we got tons of stuff. That's why you want to subscribe. So until next time, may the force be with you.
Always.
Oh, and go review us on iTunes. That helps us. Lots of people have been reviewing us on iTunes. 5-star reviews. And they'll give us 1 star. Oh, they did us after. But no, lots of people pass a while. So thank you. We're trying to get to 200. And written ones. Written ones are the ones that help and can get us to our next milestone. So please do that if you enjoyed this episode or any other episode. So now we're going.